We are back. Week 4, and we are facing Astreus of the Goldengo State Warriors. A very bulky draft, but I wouldn't go far to call it stall, because Tera Zygarde is something to fear, as it has two potential types, which is ground for more 1,000 arrow spam, and normal, so it becomes a bootleg Dragonite. He's got a handful of Paladin checks, so I'm going to try and divide the work between my waters again. So first, we have Palafin. It's still here, Punching Glove this time for the triple punch set. Wave Crash for big damage, and I'm fast enough to outspeed max base 95s. Finally, I'm not running Glim this week. Caesar will form the Flip You turn core. I have Rain Dance and Vamp Rock here to support the water duo. Defog is to take care of the hazards, because he has a lot of hazard spammers. And Bullet Punch is very important for Fairy, Skeledirge, Togekiss, and then Deoxys and set up Zygarde. Savali is now Rock type. This is to serve as my Air/Switch-In and Drapion Switch-In thanks to my knockoff immunity. This is my other Rain setter. I have Ice Beam for Zygarde and Surf for Dirge. U-Turn for maxing Rain turns for my team, and max speed makes me at worst speed tie with Zygarde or force it to E-Speed. I resist E-Speed too, so that's good. The HP allows me to live plus 1,000 arrows from Adamant Zygarde. Gourgeist, funnily enough, completely walls Zygarde. I just need to be able to break its subs so that it can't set up on me. That is why we will be using a funny coverage move I didn't know it gets, Moonblast. Small form is extremely good here. This enables me to outspeed Zygarde and sub up before it glares me, or Leech Seed it before it subs up itself. The small form also has the lowest attack stat of the forms, but I don't have to worry about that since I'm gonna run purely special. Giga Drain deals with Terra Ground Zygarde so that I can continue to break its subs, and the Chip Heal is also nice. This set is too passive if it's fighting anything other than Zygarde, so I'm gonna have to cover for that. Vasculegion F is Specs to add some much needed pressure for the team. Just your standard 4 attacks, a wall breaker for a team of walls. It becomes super juiced if Rain is up, so I gave it enough speed to outspeed Deoxys under Rain. Hat is there to bounce back hazards, because that is a big part of their strategy, it seems. We have the Terra Steel to completely shut down Glimet and buy a turn from all the other hazard setters. Standard set, Giga Drain is my coverage of choice so that I can 1v1 Empoleon. And Steel Hatterene can be a solid win con if I can get rid of Skeledirge and Zygarde. So, here's the battle. There's Deoxys, Speed, and Zygarde. I decide to lead Hatterene to just stop any lead from clicking hazards turn 1. He leads Iron Hands, and my go-to for that would be Gourgeist. He actually switches, so this is an awkward turn 1. Now I need to go out into my own switch-in for Air Slash. And now, because we know Togekiss is not gonna stay in, we're gonna get it out. We're gonna switch out again. Yep. Now I can start spamming Ice Beam. But it does very little damage, which leads me to believe it's Scarf. I mean, not Scarf, Assault Vest. I didn't pick that up during the battle, but in retrospect, I think it's Assault Vest. So I'm gonna go into Hat, because yeah, it could knock, but I really did not want T-Spikes up, so I had to take the knock. So yep, now I Tera to give me a free turn. Heal up. Oh, that was a +0 Draining Kiss, so maybe it is an Assault Vest. So yeah, now I get a big para over there. The reason why I Draining Kissed first instead of Nuzzling is because I needed the recovery, just in case it has Earthquake. So, yeah. But he switched anyway instead of Earthquaking, so I get a big Nuzzle here. Yeah, so with Deoxys coming out in front of Hatterene, that leads me to believe it has Focus Blast or Superpower or Fighting Coverage. There's the Focus Blast. That works out. So now I can begin my subseeding. Since Astrius will probably switch out. Yep. Okay, so that Air Slash did absolutely nothing. And I can continue to subseed here. So he reveals Wish, which is a problem. I can't really make progress with subseed because of that Wish. So the best I can do is to get Paladin activated. We're both gonna double here. And I get the favorable matchup. So he gets out again. I try to set up the Force Progress. I'm pretty sure I can take a Focus Blast. Yep. Now I have to switch. I'm not gonna bank on a miss. It's okay that Hatterene is injured. I can always heal up on Eldegoss, as Eldegoss is a very popular choice to switch into Leech Seed. I stayed in to see what it does anyway. Pollen Puff doesn't even break my sub. So since it's intent on staying in, and I'm doing nothing with Moonblast, I'm gonna reset the situation with Caesar. We get a U-turn out, but Iron Hands reveals Helmet. And now that I know that he always switches to Eldegoss, I'm gonna double into Hatterene. And yes, it worked out. Now I can start healing again. I'm not quite healthy enough to take the Focus Blast, so I'm gonna switch. But there's the Recover. That's a huge problem, because my plan was to chip it to death. So, yeah. So as you can see, Drapion can hurt Hatterene. So at this point, you're gonna see a bunch of repositioning. You'll see that I switched 4 times in a row to get that golden matchup of Hat versus Eldegoss. The reason why Caesar didn't U-turn was because I knew Rocky Helmet was coming up. So that was 4 switches in a row, and I got it. The Hatterene versus Eldegoss. Because Hatterene is the only one that can force progress safely, so I need to keep it healthy, so I need to keep bringing it in on Eldegoss. So this time, we double switch, and I used Legion this time for a more offensive approach. He scouts with Protect. And Ice Beam. Yeah, I stayed in to see how well I would take it. Not very. And the Ice Beam does not kill. But I still preserve Vascular Legion because Ice Beam spam is still not bad. So here I didn't Bullet Punch. I was predicting Rocky Helmet to switch in again. That didn't work out. Now here I try to spam Wave Crash. That's not gonna work here because of Iron Hands. So back to repositioning. So at this point, we're just gonna keep switching for Palafin or Hatterene to get some pressure off. So Palafin did get in on the Zygarde, so that I got one kill finally. We're gonna keep switching. Or he is. The Ice Punch wasn't that scary for me. So now I'm trying to force Eldegoss out, but it's not working. He's just staying in and attacking. So if it's intent on staying in, I'm just gonna go to Hat already. The Wish comes out, so I have to attack to keep pressure on whoever tries to heal. And that is a big KO on Deoxys. Back to the Switch Fest. But this time I have to stay in and Moonblast just to farm for leftovers. But thanks to that drop though, I can continue to Moonblast spam. So he switches trying to predict the Hatterene double, but I could have continued spamming Moonblast thanks to that drop. So now I try to read the Eldegoss switch. It didn't work. Gonna switch here. And now I'm gonna predict the Eldegoss switch in once again. But Hands seems intent on staying into Ice Punch. So I'm just gonna go back to Gourgeist and trade hits with it to make Palafin and Hat's life easier. And down it goes. Asterisk makes a good double here, but Gourgeist hard wall Zygarde, even as it Terra grounds. Finally, I reveal the speedy Giga Drain, and that's it for Zygarde. So at this point, Calm Mind Hatterene wins. I go into Roxel Volley to force in the Eldegoss. Oh, his double helmet, wow. We just keep attacking here. So, Catastrius kinda just autopiloted in the back half of the game. I think the game was taking too long, so maybe he was getting impatient. So at this point, unless he spams a bunch of crit flinches, I am going to win. And no crit flinches there. So, sorry for the long game. Even though Gourgeist is to blame, it still proved to be the MVP for keeping Zygarde at bay and getting the surprise KO with Giga Drain. It was even messing up Iron Hands, who was starting to look like a problem late game. Well played on Astraeus' side. We both did a lot of doubles in this game, but most of them were in my favor, which is what allowed me to keep the pressure on with Hat. I think he was rushing towards the end, which is why Iron Hands started getting sacked. But on to the next week.